Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 219. I'll just do the intro, I'll be with you in a minute. This is going to be a special live. I should have named it Saturday, shouldn't I? What if I could change that on the fly? But anyway, I'll cue off the music. Sunday is still happening Sunday, so this is to be a test one. This is where I would hope that Robert would come in and do his presentations during my afternoon and his early morning, so it suits more American people. But we'll see how it goes. He doesn't want to do that. He don't think he could be awake at that time. He hasn't done long shift work like I have over the years. I'll just cue the intro, kick it off. So, if you're new to the channel, check the side link there, and what's happening here? So it's screwed up. Before. Check the sound. Down. Hello. Good to be back. Be civil. Have some fun. Hopefully. No swearing. No trolling. I can ban people from the voice chat. It should be fun. So let's see if everything's working. I was hoping to get a few people on voice, but everybody says they'll come on but never do show up. This is the usual thing that's been happening for the last 2 years. People will want to tell their UFO story, but they're too scared to come on air and talk about it, even on voice. So here's your opportunity. I know there's some good stories out there to be told. So yeah, I've brought up some pictures here. So I might just see if anyone comes on, but I guess I end up talking to myself and side chat, which is always the way it happens. We got Earl coming on February to talk about some unusual cases that he's got, hopefully, and other UFO topics. And we might hopefully get Shelley on after him. Well, while he's still on, to talk about her sighting. So that's still in the works, but her device gear is pretty flaky by the sounds of it. But she's got one phone that sort of works. So yeah, Jitsi. There's a thing we use up in the corner here. And all you have to do is not have a count. You just have to click on the link and simply jump straight in and start talking to me. But the key is you have to give it permission to use your mic. obviously, because the software on the browser needs to access your mic to be able to transmit it. Now it's using the latest peer-to-peer technology, a bit like you would download a TV show or whatever on peer-to-peer, but instead it's using it for voice, and it's all encrypted, and you can use a VPN if you want to. All you need to do is have a Windows machine with a browser, or download the special app for your Apple device. So I've posted the links there, but I'll repost it again. And this group is called OT Free for All 1 OT channel. So if you just want to talk about UFOs, don't have your sighting, that's okay as well. Let's sort of merge the two links together there. Stupid Windows. Or stupid chat anyway. I'll see if I can fix it. So I think you can just click on that link there in the side chat and it will come straight in. You don't have to do anything, you just have to give yourself a nickname. And if you need an app, it's on the page here. You just have to go to iOS if you're on Apple device, and Android is listed there too. What's happened up here? It's just me still. So I'll probably hear you connect. If you don't give access to your system, it won't be able to connect to the microphone or video. So you can click on the little icon when you come in. So you can hide your camera. If you click that one when you come in, hide your face. If you want to mute yourself, you can click on the microphone here. And if you want to leave the room, just click on the telephone icon. There is some dial-in numbers you can use too. Let's see, information. We've got a dial-in number there on the screen with a PIN number. I haven't tried it. I'm not sure if it costs anything, or if it has a voice message or anything like that. It works from America. It's got +1, which is American, isn't it? So at the moment I've got no password on entry. It just connects straight in. So this is encrypted, no middleman in the middle. It simply connects from machine to machine, and the more people that connect, it will seed it. This is separate to Discord that we also use. I've got Discord running too, but it's not on the screen here. So if you're a member of Discord, you can also join a voice room there if you want, and I can patch you through. So I've got that option as well. Although we really want to get people on Jitsy's a lot better quality sound, and it bypasses a server, and Discord still uses servers, which is not the best. It means they can interfere and spy on what we're doing. So how can I cut the phone number is a good question. I think it's the same. Haven't tried the phone. It would be a worth thing to try. Where's the link gone? What's it say there? I'm not sure if it changes. 42 +1 5112 402 2718. And then it's got a PIN number. Series of numbers 42030974. What's the last digits in it? 58#. So I'll see if it's on the text screen here. Looks like the number's the same as what I've got in the text file. 217. Also I can cut and paste it. Makes it a bit easier. So yeah, more people that get on board with this, the more often we can do these free-for-all ones where people can come on, talk about their abductions, paranormal, you name it, it's all sort of connected, I think, so it's worth talking about it. So, just close that down. So, everybody's going to sit there by the way and not join. I suppose meantime, I'll look at UFO Stalker. Now, I know I have been posting around all week saying that I was going to do this because Robert was off sick. So this is where you got to be on Discord because I'll post messages there, and also on Twitter. You need some other means of getting information. Can't just be from videos. So unfortunately. So what have we got here? Probably need to scale it down a wee bit. Try that. And looks like we've got lens flare of some sort. Yeah, I thought I might scale it down. Loses the map when you've got it too big. It's a bug in their code. There you go, look. Stupid, really. You have to have it really small font because it doesn't display on the page properly. They don't test it on different size windows. Yeah, let's have a look at this one. Looks kind of silly, but so he wants to come on and help me debunk it on voice. Come on now. Just click the link, join in.
I cycling to work daily, usually set at around 5:50 a.m. This day, the 20th of December 2018, the moment I left my house, I spotted this bright shit light in the distance. Although I thought it unusual, I just carried on cycling. As I got to the road I work on around 6:11 a.m., I spotted this golf ball-sized bright white light again, quite low in the sky. I snapped 3 photos of it.
Okay. I'm just changing the Sunday to a Saturday live. Not sure if it's going to update though. Oh yeah, looks like it is. You can let me know if it's changed on the page. Okay, so yeah, I totally forgot about that. So this is the first time I've done a Saturday live, I think. So 3 crap photographs. And it's all around the other way. So we're looking at that little pin of light in there, which is probably in the horizon level where International Space Station flies. Looks like it might be that, is it? Yeah, terrible. He's even taken it in the wrong way around, so you get less data. You never take it in portrait unless you're doing a selfie, right? So unless you want more of your body showing, that's the only time you'd do it that way. You don't do videos that direction unless you wanted to go to a tree or a long building from the base to the height or something. But still, it's best to do landscape if you can. So what are the key facts in the description? Early in the morning, which is when you see the International Space Station normally, because the sun's low on the horizon, reflects off it very brightly. 20th of December 2018. So have we got enough information here? I don't know. To the road, spotted this golf ball sized bright white light. Does sound like the International Space Station. No video? I don't think there was. 3 pictures. I think it's slowly moving, is it? Whereabouts this position there? Over that light. It generally moves fairly constant, but not super fast over the light there. Over the light there, so I don't know. How many seconds apart would they be? So let's see, save image. So you should be able to plug in the flight path for that location on the tools for the flight tracking off the space station. And next one. It would have been nicer to have people come on and talk about their sightings with us, but we have to go to backup mode. The subs are still going up slowly, not really fast though. People ain't promoting the channel anymore, not since December. I do promotions though. Everybody's sort of hung around all zombie state since Tyler's left. Where's the download folder? It's on the wrong screen. Here we go. So, have we got a timestamp on it? So it looks like they're 2 seconds apart by the looks of that number in there. I think that's based on 20th of December, yep. 6:11, 15 seconds, 17 seconds. So yeah, we don't even have to look at the metadata, but we can. And we got some tool for that called open with send to normally. Doesn't have an open with for it, but it's called exit if tool GUI, which calls a powerful command line tool, which gets updated. I haven't updated it for a while, and it looks in the data of the video or picture. So there we go. We got some exit if data, which comes from the camera, proves if it's been tampered with or not. So it's from a Samsung phone, rotated 90 degrees, not landscape. You can get the tool down as well. I'm not sure if he's got a link to it. Should have a help topic there, shouldn't he? But if you just type in exit if tool and search for this GUI interface, which is graphical user interface, so that's what it stands for. It just passes commands from what we used to easily to like a DOS prompt thing, command line as they call it, which is good because it means you don't have to update the GUI, you just have to update the back end of it, a bit like Linux or Unix, or you want to call it Linux. So yeah, we've got lots of information here. 3000 pixels by 2000 pixels. So if you multiply those two numbers, that gives you a number of megapixels. So 3000.2, which you can probably use the browser to calculate that. So it doesn't mean you've got it on the highest setting. 3000 times 1800. Hey, why don't you come on side talk to me? So it's just under 6 megapixels there. That's how you sort of work that out. So it's 5.8 million pixels on the screen. Yeah, if you want to come on and talk, help me debunk, or if you want to talk about any UFO sightings, the information is there. You just have to click the link and type in a username that you want to use, and that's all you have to do. It's peer-to-peer, it's encrypted. yeah, that makes it a bit difficult if you're at work on a Saturday. I can only do these things when people, when I think most people are going to be available. But yeah, this would be the opportunity. But we might be around for another 2 hours. Who knows? We'll see. I'd have to do some chores at the end of this live stream and take the dog out, that sort of stuff, before the sun goes down. So yes, so we're looking at the camera model is there, which you can right click and you can copy the value to clipboard, and you can then just do a search on the camera. So this is really learning again, recapping what I've gone over in the past. So you can put Samsung and see what the phone looks like. Obviously, a piece of rubbish. It's probably one of those $100 jobs, is it? So what was his location? That's a good point. Where is it? England? There you go. What comes up for the phone is a place that sells them in England. So it must be where they're being pushed. Let's have a look at this one. So it's all checking out. It's a valid picture. So we know that's not been tampered with. And it's super big. There we go. User manual. I was hoping for a quick breakdown of its specs. No, not going to get it on that page, are we? Phone specification, must be this one. Samsung Galaxy A3, must be its name. It's funny you didn't put that in the full description though, eh? A3, it's got Samsung A3, so it kind of makes sense. So there we go. And here it says it's on 8 megapixels, and yet the picture's only in 6 megapixels, so he's got it turned down a wee bit. He hasn't got on the maximum setting there for some reason. And let's see, 16.9, Android 4 to 6, that's pretty crappy. And we're up to what, 9 now, Android. Quad core, so it's fairly a few years old, I'd say then, in that case. By looking at the specs. Released in 2014, so it could be even a lot older then. So yeah, shows how long they can last though, these phones. If the memory doesn't go bad in it, generally it does though. Starts corrupting the memory if you use it a lot for apps. So anyway, just moving on. So we were looking at the timestamps. So we said it was here, 17 seconds. You can see where it's got the name from. So that's handy to have it in the name as well as in the metadata. Now this is what's called metadata, or EXIF information. Extended something format, I think. Well, let's bring that up. I can never always remember the acronyms, abbreviations for it, or whatever they call it. It's exchangeable image format, surely not. I would have thought it would be information, but anyway, that sounds about right. Descriptive data, metadata, in an image file that include the date the phone was photo was taken, resolution, shutter speed, focal length, and many other settings. There you go. Exchangeable image format. I wonder why they called it that though, when it's really looking at the hidden data. You'd think it'd have the word data in there, wouldn't you? Exchangeable image information data or something. I don't know who comes up with these terminologies. So I got my tabs for tomorrow's live. So, in 2 seconds, how much would the space station move is the question. So can we rule it as a space station yet? Not really. It has the signature for space station. Let's see, might be able to find IS fly over early morning. Because it makes sense, because you ain't got the bright sun illuminating the sky, and you're going to see it more easily. Someone's got it where the light's fully up, which ain't so good. Google's useless at searching. Well, has it gone to outer space? Because all these will be, approved locations, SpaceX, NASA. Instead of just bringing up everybody's, the creators out there that upload stuff. Skylighter lands, that's the rocket. That's not even to do with the International Space Station. After aborted trip to International Space Station. So it's not even the keyword I was after, right? That's really frustrating. Yeah, sorry about that, Tommy D. T. It's just bad timing. You would have been good to come on and talk. It's always good to have someone on voice. I don't normally have my picture up for obvious reasons, because they expose people, and yeah, they tend to do nasty things with your image and stuff. Yeah, it's just less stuff for the computer to do as well, because I do quite a lot on here. So yeah, it's not really giving it to us, is it? Did I do paranormal breakdowns? What the hell? Alright. Alright, these are all the topics for tomorrow. I know I did put it on the Twitter page. Maybe I didn't. And of course I looked at that alien picture in more detail, so I'll go over that tomorrow. Let's see. I'll go to my Twitter page. Let's see, where is it? It's funny how I can't see my own page. There it goes. I don't want to log in. Yeah, I know I did put it up here. He had some breakdown of a particular image of the International Space Station flyover. There's the Jesus balloons again. I was saying, why use Project Blue Beam to fool people that Jesus is coming when you got stuff like this? They can just fly it high above Cuba or whatever and have them totally fooled. And if it got shot down, it wouldn't really matter, because you could probably put it up there without people in and have it remote controlled. Why muck around with lasers and stuff? A lot more complicated when you can do something simple. That's the alien for tomorrow. Oh yeah, last time I forgot to mention this. Well, we got it up here. Showed date of Tyler's drug documentary crowdfunding. In it, there it's got April 2011, because I was saying he was trying to do this before he started his YouTube channel to try and make money to fund this project so he can make millions of dollars of one movie. I suppose that's what he's doing now. Alright, so here's one with the space station flying early in the morning, just before the sun comes up. I'll just mute it. Alright, so this looks very similar to this guy's video, except for this guy's zoomed in a wee bit more. So it depends what side you're on. This is Paranormal Breakdown. Let's do a debunk on it. So he's plugged that one into the software for NASA to see where the space station, what country it was over, and so it lines up. So here we got the space station, but he's filming it wiggly wobbly, so it looks like it's going like a UFO would, but it's actually passing in a straight line if you stabilize it. So yeah, it looks very similar to what we're looking at there on UFO Stalker. So if anyone wants to come on the side chat and talk to me, the link's there. All you need is Jitsi, no account is needed, you just have to type in any random character name. First name generally is best. So it's going to pass what tree branch there, a tree coming up. Okay, so that's one of them. So he's looked on the software here to see where passing over on that particular day, which is what you'd have to do with that MUFON case. And there's also another one here somewhere. One over Texas. Here we go. I will maybe play some sound from it, where the guy's talking to his camera. So, yeah, what's he saying there? Another UFO spotted over northwest Houston. This one decided to come out before sundown. So this is going down at night time. And was flying pretty low. So again, this guy plugged it into software. You could see it was flying over that location at that time. There you go, he's zooming in on it a wee bit.
That ain't no satellite or plane.
You see it's just a little speck in the sky, and of course the sun's going down there rather than coming up. Now you can see it passes over the branches here. People would think, well, that's just CGI faked. But we've talked about that in the past, being camera artifacts. See how it sort of always looks like it's going over the branches, well, thin ones anyway. That's a problem with CMOS technology, especially on phones. It's called roll-in shutter, and it scans when it's like this, depending which way it's rotated, left to right or right to left. How it scans like a flatbed scanner. So if you're slightly moving, which he is, slight movements, because that's the little white dots moving faster than the CMOS can process, is actually showing up on the next stripe where the branch is, when it's actually probably and still over here. But it doesn't look like that on the camera because the motion and the technology is not able to get it properly scanned. So they are getting better with the technology, as we've talked about in the past. They've got faster and faster chips that can process more and more lines of data, because it's like a serial based thing, not a parallel based like CCD sensors. And they take the whole, that's called global shutter versus rolling shutter. Global shutter means it can process all the pixels once the lens closes to stop light going in. It processes all the photocell's data all at the same time, a parallel process. And CMOS, when it closes the shutter, which you call frames per second, it scans the dots like a flatback scanner. But because it's still open here, and it's still trying to process it, it's overlaying the dot over top of the branches here. But you'll see when it goes through big one.
Houston, right around sundown, right after sundown.
See, when it went past that one, it didn't actually go on the top.
Sundown.
See, that one's still on the top a wee bit, and then it disappears in the middle. Then it pops out the other side, because you can see the length of the scanning's probably that many pixels, you know. Let's see, rolling shutter. Probably bring up a little diagram of it again. Rolling shutter example. So it's amazing what you can learn when you start analysing stuff like this. You learn the technology, you learn for the, what do you call it, indicators of things. So you can see here, rolling shutter makes a right mess of propeller blades, because the blades are spinning really fast, right? So you can see the rolling shutter scans when the blade's actually moved past the location, and it's having trouble catching up to it. So it's not actually like that in real life. And here's another one, front blade. Does some crazy stuff when you video it. Look at this. If you had a blade like that in front of a plane in real life, you'd be scared. My propeller is mounting. Look at this crazy one, a drone one. That's what rolling shutter does, and he's filming it portrait, so instead of it being left to right, it's top to bottom. Yeah, and so obviously this is coming down, and so it catches some of the blades, but it kind of stretches it out, you see, over a period of time there. Kind of weird effect. But yeah, we want the explanation for it. A little graphic. If you want to know about rolling shutter, it's got some graphics there. Let's just have a quick look. There's people out there that are not really into filming UFOs won't be interested in this, because everybody's like 10-minute attention spans, right? So here we go. Here's an example that I'm talking about. So total shutter or global shutter is what CCD is, and CMOS uses this like a flatbed scanner type thing. So it's got like 10 lines it processes, it can do at once. It just goes through. But if you're filming a live action scene and the shutter opens up, and more light passes in where the branch has changed. So this is portrait mode, and you have to rotate it either way for landscape. So that should make it a bit easier to understand now. It moves quite fast, I guess.
This one almost in broad daylight. I'm going to post this one tonight.
Generally you see it for 3 seconds, I think it is. 3 to 5 seconds. It doesn't last long. Well, no, 3 to 5 minutes, I mean, not seconds. So this would be about right for his video. It's 4 minutes long, you see. It's moving at 17,000 miles per hour in space, I think it is. That's quite fast. Has it disappeared? Oh no, it's still there. See, it's getting lower and lower, so obviously it's getting further and further away from its position there. Anyway, yeah. That's what I just wanted to show you. So this is what I think this is. Same thing. Just in the right distance where it normally would pass over the horizon. And it looks like it's just before the sun comes up. So the sun's coming over the edge of the globe. It's not flat Earth. And it's reflecting those big solar panels they have on it, and it flicks back some light down towards the ground. It's quite interesting, really. What's the next one? And the other satellites you see most common are called iridium. They have big solar panels on too, so it could be that as well. Iridium satellites. And one other picture of one. And you can see they've got these big solar panels. There's one there. Looks a wee bit like the space station and sorts, but scaled down. And of course, they create a big reflection when the sun comes up. So this is an example. The satellite sees the sun, but America's still in darkness here. So what happens is it reflects off the solar panel here, coming in this direction, and aims some of it towards the ground as it's passing by. And of course, they're in not geostationary. Some of them are. Some are moving over like the space station. So, so what do they do on these satellites? I think it's mostly communication, isn't it? Like phones, and they communicate with each other if it's in a geostationary orbit. So what have they got there? What does it look like? Square box with electronics inside. Is that a radar dish there? I mean a radio dish to being microwave cell tower signals up there and back down again. Probably got some sensor at the back too. Not sensor, radio dish at the back to connect to other satellites in orbit. Let's have a look at that one there. Solar array, feeder, link, antennas. So there you go. So it's got some at the back here. What's that say there? Arion payload. Whatever that is. 9 feet, 9 meters. That's quite big, isn't it? So yeah, it's going to reflect a lot. So yeah, how would you put that into the data? So right location, we're talking about England. I think I've got a link to it here, have I? Let's have a look. Life Space Station, here we go. Wesley, what are you saying? So that's why you should come on voice, so you can talk to me while I'm yabbing. I think it's strange that he said he had 2 deaths in the family, and then in the setup video he didn't mention it, but said he has been making a documentary. Yeah, definitely an actor, isn't he? Talking about Tyler there. Yes, his whole video didn't add up, did it? So, because the globe is because the planet is a globe, we get these wavy line effects happening, trying to expand it out to a flat map, and it shows you where it passes over. You can see it passes over America quite good, and it passes over UK, which is over here. Comes down passes by Australia, or passes down through France, Italy, skims past Russia there, Asia, comes down to New Zealand, Australia, then goes around again. So what does it say here? The tracker shows where the space station is right now, and its path 90 minutes ago, minus 1.5 hours, and 90 minutes ahead. The dark overlay indicates where it's night time in the world, the map of world below. So what they're saying here, that's obviously example, not the actual, is it? Can't load page, great. So is this current? So let's have a look. 19th of January, is that right? Yep. So it looks like it's a current thing. So it's just passing over the Pacific there, isn't it? Off the coast of Australia. So we're over here in New Zealand. Not sure if I'll be able to see it. It's pretty bright here, summer day here. But we want to be able to see it over UK past ones, and this is never easy to use. It doesn't say history, playback or whatever. Let's see if I can find it another way. Space station, path, England, 20th of December, wasn't it? Also, we have to convert that to UTC time, I suppose, which makes it a bit more complicated. Which will be the 19th, probably 20th. England. Doesn't say whether it's UT time there. Let's see, duration 5 minutes. Because it's 5 minutes, it tells me that it's the space station. Remember, I was talking about the 3 to 5 minute time frame. We'll try it. 20th, 6 AM. I don't think it's going to work searching properly like this. 26 AM. I just wish they had a proper link, so you just type it in and search. So let's see what it brings up here. NASA. Is that for the 20th? December logs. Life tracker UK times. Let's have a look at that one. If it will come up. Okay, so it's brought up the map that we were looking at before. Now it's moved a wee bit closer to Australia since we've been looking. So what do we got here? It's looking into the future, not the past, isn't it? So you can see here the times. We've got some at 6 minutes here. There's still a minute there. 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So that sort of maps. 5 minutes looks like a common time. 3 minutes. 5 minutes is the most common one, visible over England. And we've got GPS locations. Doesn't tell us what location it is, like city name. Doesn't say year number there, so I guess this is looking into the future, maybe. Oh, here we go. July to August. So it sort of stops. Where's the rest of it? Where's the next page? That would really help, wouldn't it? So let's see. Any of these at 6 in the morning. 11 p.m. Midnight, 10 p.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4, oh well, closer to 4 a.m., 2 a.m. Don't see anything for 6 a.m. there, but obviously it's going to move along. Let's see, July. So that's all July to August. Probably not going to move along in hours. Yeah. Yeah, so let's try some of these other links. December. Yeah, so if you want to come on and talk about your UFO stories or talk about what we're debunking here, just jump onto the Jitsi link. So I posted in the side comments here. You can even phone in, but I don't know how that works, but we'll see. If you want to do that, the links are there. So this looks like a blog about NASA. So that's no good. Life Tracker UK Times we looked at. Okay, let's have a look at that one. You think it'd be a simple tool. It just tells you. And there's another way of doing it with another tool called Into the Sky, so I might go to that. It uses more CPU time, but I thought I could probably look it up on a chart, but not so easy, is it? So it's talking about in the future here. How about the past? We want the past. Now that's pretty handy there. It's got a picture of the horizon as it moves. Comes over here, it slowly disappears. But no. Looks like we're not going to find a quick easy chart, are we? Eye in the Sky, what's that one? Let's just check that one. Meta check. That sounds interesting. Met check. I've misread it. So that means weather. Ooh. Overcast a wee bit there in North England, or UK I should say. So December this year. That's no good. So we have to use that other tool. Let's have a look. Where is it? Night sky map. Is that the one? Live meteorites. Oh, in the sky. Here we go. Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. This is quite a complex tool, this one. And it uses a wee bit of CPU. So what's it doing at the moment? Current satellites overhead, I think. Yeah. There we go. So we know the space station was somewhere here. There it is, coming at the bottom of Australia. ISS, also known as Sarah International Space Station. Really? Altitude 426 kilometers above us. So there you go. It's not too far really to get into space when you think about it. But you got GPS satellites passing overhead. And the big geostationary ones there too, probably. You see how fast they move in space there. Covering quite a few thousand miles each time they blink, sort of thing. Yeah, so let's see. We need to change the location. Let's see. Let's see, is it clipped it off? Yes, it has. So it's showing my New Zealand time. Where does it say change location? I'll have to scale it down a wee bit more. Auckland, change location. Okay, here we go. They've rearranged it a wee bit, I think, since I've last looked. Is located by a web browser? Nope. Guess my location? Nope. Enter. Enter name. Choose town. Okay, so what was his town there? Nottingham? Forest? Nottingham. There we go. UK. So we've got that set now. I'll post the link down the side there, so if you guys want to have a play around with it, go ahead and try to do it. Tracking satellites. You find that you need a good internet connection and a computer though. Because ISS is basically a satellite in space. Hello, how's it going, Clayton? Look, I've got a free for all if you want to come on voice and talk to me. Jump on. If you got any UFO stories you want to tell people, jump on. If you get bored of listening to me. Okay, so we've got it set now to UK. So there's UK there. And we know the space station is not up there at the moment. So now we need to set the time. So we want to go back in time. What's going on? Let's put it down here. That's crazy, isn't it? That's a bug in the code. It won't let me select it. No. Yes, it did. It's buggy as hell, that one. December. Oh, here we go again. Yeah, right. As if I'm going to get to December. How'd you scroll down? How am I going to get around that one? We got November. Got closer. Can we go upwards? Probably not. So if I go right to the bottom. Oh, there we go. Got it. Changes up here. Yeah, so we almost got the right date here. Maybe. Because we have to convert it to UTC time, probably. But we'll try 20th. There we go. And now what we do? We're going to specify the time in the morning. Why is it not scrolling? Oh, right, here. Oh, we've got to do that one too. Damn it. 6, 11. Well, probably should keep it 6 really. 1 minute past. It didn't quite work. Oh, yeah, now what do we do? Doesn't say submit anywhere. Has it changed it? I think it might have changed it. And can we scroll around? Yes, we can. Oh, there we go. International Space Station. I saw it there. Stop. Stop moving. Now we've lost it again. I saw it there for a minute. Coming up to England. Which would be 10 minutes away, probably. Let's see. Where was it now? It's doing crazy stuff. Here it is. Sarah, International Space Station. I reckon the altitude is only 419. I thought it was 426 before. Does it vary in level in the atmosphere by a few kilometres all the time? Don't know. That's kind of strange. So yeah, look, it's passing UK there. You'd probably be able to see it from UK as a little white dot passing overhead. So there you go. It's coming up to, what's the time at the moment? So we can actually clear off a lot of that there, so we can just focus on the space station. Type it in here. There we go. Hopefully. 20th December. Coming up to... what is the time? Freeze. Select satellites. Here we go. It's complicated software, like I said. Like I said, I was hoping to find a table that had it all listed for us, but most of them are real time and not space station. Hubble space station. Hubble, well, Hubble's got big solar panels on it. It's funny they haven't got Iridium satellites listed there though. Suppose you have to add that on. Here we go here. So there you go, look. They added more to the map there. Yeah, there's quite a few of those in the sky too, heading towards UK. But I think it's on the wrong side. The International Space Station's coming up now. So where's the time counter on this? Let's see. I can't see it. It's coming up the top of Africa, bottom of UK's here. So there's a lot of Iridium satellites there too, you see. Passing straight past. So it's a bit hard to tell. That's why you use the apps on your phone. You just hold it up to the sky. Heavens above does it. Although it can be 10 minutes out, some people said. But there are other apps. Google, I think, does it too. Google Sky. You better hold up to the sky and it will overlay these labels on the lights in the sky and it will tell you if it's a planet, Venus, or a satellite. But yeah, there's all the bright ones that you'd see in the sky. Quite a lot, really. Mistaken for UFOs. Goes right across Russia here. Asia got a lot of satellites up there. India, Africa. Look at these ones coming up here. But there's meant to be a way we can reduce the blobs on the screen here. So let's see if we can get to station only. So turn off iridiums and Hubble. But while we got other ones, space station. I suppose that's turned them off, has it? So where's these other ones coming from? Just trying to figure out the software. I didn't see anything else ticked. So is that a bug? So these junior stationary ones. Whoa, there's a lot of them. Look at that. That's what you call the satellite highway, because there's 4,000 satellites overhead of us. And that's this belt that goes right over. Will it go out further? No, it's just so crowded. It looks like it's passing mostly over Brazil. And we get a lot of sightings down there. I don't think that'd be correct. I think it passes over North America too. Something's not right here. Can't zoom out any further than that. That's kind of crappy. That's just crazy amount of satellites there. That can't be right, surely. USA, ANCC. They sound like TV station satellites, right? Hey, there's one called UFO 10. What's that one? USA 146. So they're sort of having a laugh by the looks of it by calling it UFO 10. What else we got here? Sky Net. Oh, no. What's that? Spy satellite? So it says from Nottingham, though. I wonder if that changes the perspective. It shouldn't do. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that band being in the correct place there. Maybe it slowly moves down from up here, then repeats. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. I'm not too much of a sky watcher with telescopes. There'll be some people on the side chat know more about the software they use. I think there's one that there's a cameraman uses. What's it called now? You have to install it on your device, and it runs like Google Earth does. Hello, we got Dover. So yeah, if you want to come on the side chat and talk, direct that thing. Cursor keys, move up and down. Yep, that's what I was using, cursor keys. But I couldn't see what it was selecting. Yeah, I'm just wondering why it won't show just the space station. Geostationary. What else we got here? Satellite based. What? Navigation. Navy. Let's have a look at those ones. There we go. Navstar it's called. Doesn't seem to be too many of those, so I'll zoom out. Can only see one on the map here. Yeah, I don't know if we can trust this program with all the satellites. It doesn't seem right to me. Unless it's screwing up on my page here. Let's see. Maybe I'll zoom out more. There we go. Maybe it's because you need really high graphics on it. Let's try that. Where's the satellites gone to, though? Because that's really screwed it up, has it? Did I turn them off? I can't read it now. Where's the geostationary one? Can't quite read it. Space, there we go. And what else we got? Geostationary. What's that said? It's got an error message. What does it say? Reducing the number of spacecraft selected. Map is slow to respond. Okay. Has been reduced to 400 to improve. So it's not even showing you all of the satellites because there's too many of them. Oh, there we go. That looks a wee bit better now. But still, that band seems to be just above Brazil there, isn't it? That's really crowded. So, what else can we use? I don't know. But anyway, it looks like the satellite was passing that time location, so I'd say that would be it. Maybe I should scale it up again. Looks like it's scaling up now, but it's not screwing up so much. But yeah, it does make a mess, doesn't it? So you have to do that now. It's not perfect, but it is free. So we got also, that's top down, we've also got 3D globe. Satellites above your horizon, maybe you should check that one. Is it different? Or is it the same? Oh, here we go. So what's that giving us? So that's if you look straight upwards, I guess, from that location that we specified, Nottingham. And you should be able to see that strictly above at the moment. But I'm not sure what the time is. It's gone back to 2 for some reason instead of 6. 6:22. 6:11. Let's try that. Okay. So directly over. There we go. There's the International Space Station. Straight over his position where he's filming. So I think that proves it. If we've debunked that case here. Being in the space station flying overhead. So that map sort of narrowed it down. So what's it saying? It's heading southeast. So he must be standing here filming this direction and it's going across that way. So we should see it drop off 5 minutes. So that would be 16 past, is it? So let's move that on. 15, try that. Is it still visible? It's disappeared off the horizon, hasn't it? Can't see it now. Four minutes. Yeah, 15 is where he stops filming. So we need to go back. It should have been still visible at that time. Maybe it's a little dot. Now let's go back 1 minute. I would have thought it would have been there still. $12 minutes. I think that's the time he had, wasn't it? 11 past. It should be still visible there because that's how long he filmed it for. 4 minutes. Let's see. 4 minutes. Should take it to 15, shouldn't it? So could it be the day before? So we'll look at that in a minute. But obviously it's passing in the same location roughly about the same time every day. Give or take a few difference in position. So 14, 13. So 11 it definitely was there. There it is there. Now, I'm not sure of the movement. Don't tell us what it's stepping, does it? And there's a little time counter on it itself below. And this is not very accurate because it's not sort of moving along every 10 seconds. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's the counter. It's over the side here. So, is it every 3 seconds? 48, next one. Yep, every 3 seconds it's ticking along. So now we know that. And you can see it's moving quite fast every 3 seconds here. Which matches up with his photograph. Well, actually, no, that was the other video we're talking about, was 4 minutes, wasn't it? What am I talking about? This one is actually just 3 static photographs. So, yeah. It's got to be the correct time and date, right? It's there at that time. And as soon as it gets to 13, it's disappeared. So we're getting close to where it disappears, I think. Which is, what, 3 minutes it's visible? He didn't do a video of it. I was getting mixed up with the example once. Oh, there you go. It's dropped off now. What time was that? 12:43 seconds. So there you go. Showing you how to use that again. Relearnt it. So what else we got here? We got 3D globe. Okay, who's back? Not meaning to ignore you. Working 3 things at once. Yeah, like I said, if you want to come online, just click on the link. You don't need to create an account and give permission to your browser to use your mic, and you can talk to me. There's the link and details again. So if I won't put a new line in. It's called OT34 All 1. And if you need to download it for the phone, the app, if you're not using Windows in a browser, you can do that as well. I'll just repost it. It's only a small program. It's peer-to-peer, so it runs completely on your phone. Doesn't go connect to a spy network. Just connect straight to me, and you can talk to me and ask questions or tell us your stories. Now, I've done this lots of times before, so there you go. We can now see which side the sun is on for that day. And yes, looks like it's early in the morning. You can see the sun's going this direction, so that'll be rotating around. And now the space station's probably popped off here somewhere, is it? Did I hear someone that's joined us? I can hear someone. Hey, who we got?
Hey, it's Bill.
Now you look a bit like Robert. you could be
Who's Robert?
Robert does Saturdays with me. He does UFO cases with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you should be able to see my screen live. Now you're connected in. So you'll see that YouTube's like 30 seconds behind us. So yeah,
Okay.
I normally have it set up so it's full screen like that, and shrinks away there, so we can make a small window. There you go, up the top. So yeah, thanks for connecting. So
Mhm.
you want to introduce yourself, and have you got any UFO stories or paranormal stories, experiences?
Oh, I have lots. Actually, I'm a paranormal investigator, but I was on a case in Centralia, Pennsylvania, a few years ago, and I caught a photograph of a random. Well, it was a random anomaly in the sky, and I wasn't even aware of it when I took the picture. It was really strange because the back of the sky was we had a backlight because it was in the early evening.
Mm.
And when I removed some of the backlight, something slowly started to reveal itself. And I'd love to share that with you if there was a way for me to post that photograph here somewhere.
You can do it on this chat program.
Crud.
It's got a little side chat where you can say text messages and post links.
I got to figure out how to get to that screen.
Are you on a PC?
I am.
Mm.
Yes, I am. I found the menu. Give me 1 second.
It's on the left-hand side. You got share screen.
There we go. I can do that.
You can share your screen. You can post a link. It's quite a powerful little program, this, and it's absolutely free. And you can see the quality is just amazing. So you're looking at my screen. So you need to. You'd have to share app window or something. I'm not sure if it allows you to do that. So you can just share the other browser tab or whatever. It's got a few selections in there. Application window, probably you need to share and choose the tab that you want to show the picture on.
I'll figure it out. Just give me 1 second.
That's alright. It's all new to everybody. This is a great piece of software, but they're always adding to it. So how do I get rid of that on the screen here? Press the cancel button. Oh, there we go. Hey, we can see your desktop now. It looks like you got a pentagram there.
I was actually from a docu-series on YouTube. It was very good. I recommend that if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, if you've been watching my lives, I've covered that. Plus, I've added my own information to what they missed. So have a look at my.
Okay. So here's the first photograph. It's just kind of just a photograph of the cemetery. And if you notice, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor or not, but anyway, right up in the mid upper photograph, there's a little something there.
I'll zoom in.
Now, like I said,
that thing there.
Yep. Now, keep in mind, it was a cloudy day, but there was some backlight. What I did was I slowly started removing some of the backlight. This is the first photograph where it was removed. And then I took a little more out, and let me get back to my regular size here.
So you're just snapping and didn't see it with your eyes?
No, I didn't. And then when I took out the backlight even further, it's definitely something there.
Yeah.
I can zoom in for you.
I can tell you probably that it's probably going to be a bug close to the lens that flew past when you were taking it. Was it a burst of photographs or a single photograph you took?
It was several photographs.
Right, so if that object's there like a minute apart, then we can rule out bird and a bug. But was it there in the same position a minute after?
It was not.
No, I see. So that would really count for it being a UFO, you see. So this is the problem with the CMOS cameras, because you got the shutter that I talked about before.
Well, I'm quite familiar with backscatter and airborne particulates in front of the lenses, so I ruled that out because I wasn't using a flash, number one, and it's not a typical example of backscatter.
To me, it looks like it's most likely a bug, like a fly flying right close to the lens. And because of the way technology is on these, what was it, a phone or a proper camera?
No, it was a proper camera. It was an equivalent of a 35 millimeter. Now, here's the original photograph. And if I zoom into it, it doesn't appear to be any type of insect. It just looks like something odd.
Well, you got motion blur, so and with rolling shutter, it's going to create these long, blobby images.
Well, don't you think there would be blur in everything else?
No, because this object's moving across the scene faster than anything
I got you.
So, and because of the technology is not fast enough processing, unless you got it set to like 1/1000, may not even be enough. 1/4000. Which means it can take 4,000 images a second. 1/8000, some of the top line cameras can do, like the P1000, I think. If you do it over 1/8000, you'll be able to see the individual wings flap on a fly flying past your camera. But if you got it on like a normal 30 seconds or 60 frames, it's not going to be fast enough for the video to detect it. It'll just end up being a smear, and also on photographs. So what was the metadata on this? What did you have it set to? So because
I would have to look at the EXIF information. I don't remember exactly what it was.
So that will give us a clue if you got it on a low shutter speed, high shutter speed. This is all part of investigation to try and debunk your own sightings, right?
We had the exposure at 1/500th of a second at ISO 200.
1/500. Let's have a look. Yep. So that's better than normal, right? Still not good enough though. Still not good enough for insects. So yeah. If you Google, I'll just shrink you down back to the corner. So I did an episode called How to Identify UFOs. Let's see. How to. And you can work through them and see if you get more right. So I got this one here called Confirm or Debunk How to Identify a Real UFO. So that one's worth having a watch of. But it's not the one I'm talking about. How to debunk. See, part of an investigator is to understand the technology we're using and understand where we get caught out with it, right? So, and where's the other one? Google's not really good at searching even through the side thing here. I think we probably have to type it in. Best ways to film UFO. So this is what I'd expect everybody to be able to do at some stage to really document a UFO sighting. How to capture. So obviously multiple cameras on the same scene at the same time would solve that one for you. Like if you had a video running at the same time, like a GoPro helmet, you can slip on a band. Right. If you had that while you were taking a photograph at the same time, you had it on both instruments, that would give you a lot more triangulation to work with, to work out how far away from the camera it would be. So that's getting into the real technical side of things. Let's see. I don't think it was in the list.
Do you have any? What's your best example of a photograph that you've ever taken that you're not sure about? If you have one.
The best one would be the one the Skywatcher sent me, the video, which I'm not sure whether it was hoaxed or not. It's very well hoaxed if it's hoaxed. It's called Alien Grey in UFO if you've not seen it. Photograph. There's one that was submitted, let's see. Submitted to the Black Vault and what's the other place? UFO Center. And the thing is, I was a bit suspect to it being... It said it was investigated by a proper UFO investigator, but I have my doubts because it's very close to April Fool's. So yeah, I'm not sure if I can find it, but I have got a little short video about it. It's in UFO case files.
So does he consider legitimate to be like MUFON or just another investigator?
Well, it gave an investigator's name, but it wasn't a MUFON guy, and claimed it was on this UFO database site. But I think it was April Fool's. But it looked cross between what you'd get for maybe a seagull or a real UFO, because they kind of look like the same sort of egg-long shape. It's a bit like your photograph, but a lot better quality. Let's see if I can find it for you. So I'll do the alien grey one if you're not seen it. Alien grey. I spent a week analysing the video on this because it was from a handy cam, and we could see a creature in the cockpit moving around, which he didn't notice at the time because he didn't focus on it. But I tried to zoom, stabilise it and all that sort of stuff. And UFO. He claims to the day that it was happening at his back of his house for that year, 2011. Which is when Tyler from Security Team started his channel, and he refused to submit it to MUFON because he wanted to keep ownership of the copyrights, so his claim is, and he didn't want to give away his location because he didn't trust him, because he didn't want it going public and having people tramp to his location, because as you know, you can see it on the UFO Stalker here, right? So once you submit something, it goes public, and as we can see here, we don't know if this one's been closed or not, but yeah, I think this one, we've looked at it now enough to know it's an International Space Station here. So yeah, that one's definitely worth checking out. It's quite a long investigation I did there with what information I could get from the guy, 35 minutes. The only thing he wouldn't give was the location, so I couldn't overlay it with Google Maps and stuff and estimate how big it was and all that sort of stuff. But these are some of the images after the show. So I did a question and answer with him here on Future Live. So you can go and listen to what people are asking him there on that after the show if you want to. But yeah, I'm trying to find the other one. Just trying to think where it was now. California, I think. Near the beach where you get a lot of seagulls, right? UFO case. So these are all my different UFO cases that I've got.
Alright, I'll check them out.
Here's this one here at the airport. It looks very similar to your photograph. Someone said it was a UFO at the airport. I'll just scroll on a bit. They're like 3 to 5 minute videos. Plane struck by lightning. Alien UFO appears. So someone's saying it's a UFO there, and it's quite a good picture though of a plane being hit on the ground by lightning, while people are in it as well. So it's very similar to your video here, picture here. You can see, but it's a bit more brighter. And believe it or not, that is actually a seagull. So when you put it through enhancement software, you can start to see characteristics of how it's moving. So there you go, a plane there being hit by lightning, another strike by looks of it, where it's coming into land by looks of it on that one. Yeah, so as you can see, seagulls do glide on air currents, especially at airports, and they form that sort of blobbiness on the camera, especially if it's out of focus, which is half the problem.
That is really similar to my photograph, isn't it?
Yeah, and there you go, and it ends up being a smudge on the camera. You can see here I've enhanced it, as best I could do from that small image up here. And you can start to see it's got a head and a beak here, right? And you can see here it's got the lift of the wing going on here and the tail feathers here, right? So looks like I've done a little typo there, but I'll try to fix it. But you can see here there's not much you can do with photographs like that. But that's example very similar to your one. But yeah, this is under a playlist called UFO Cases, which goes through lots of different things people put up. Some of them balloons and whatnot. But I was trying to find the other one which I thought was interesting, which I think is still at April Fool's. It'll be in the list here somewhere. Let's have a look. So you might remember this one that a lot of people put up about this UFO, which turned out to be like a plane that's shaped like a UFO in Australia that's well known by this guy, that inventor that makes them. So that one's there. The famous sun balloon one is also here that Tyler put up with no analysis. This is where I do proper investigations into things and do pattern matching, run it through software. So you might remember this one saying it was a biological UFO. There's actually when I do my analysis on it, there we did an enhancement. You can see that it's got a little tag coming down, and I did the next one here of an example of a sun balloon. As you can see, it looks very similar, and then I have to deflate it a wee bit. So if you can imagine the hole that's there from the air being pushed that direction there, you'd have to imagine that there's a dimple there in that balloon. That you can see here, that's just a green / yellow balloon, which are quite big, as you can see there with the kid holding it there, 8-year-old. But yeah, that's the sort of debunks I do in that particular playlist. But this should be there. The one very similar to your image, but a lot better quality in the sharpness of it. To me, it could have been a UFO. It could be a seagull too. And someone's just put it up as a prank, saying they investigated it and said no, it wasn't a seagull. Yeah, it's funny how when I'm not looking for it, I can find it quite easily. When I'm looking for it, it's very hard to find. But I've got so many videos. I've got 460 plus videos now, right? So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any on the topic of the Black Knight satellite, and what are your thoughts on that?
Black Knight satellite's a collection of unrelated stories that's been linked into a legend. It's actually not a real object as such. It's actually a thermal blanket that come off. Most of the pictures you see is actually the thermal blanket, and there's actually videos where they're actually filming it from the shuttle as it's escaping from them, and later on they film it again and try and grab it. But it's ended up as space junk. So yeah, you can just search on stuff here on my channel. Just type in Black Knight, and hopefully Google's not so stupid to bring up too many other things. So yeah, let's see. I'm not sure why it's brought up David Adair one, but you can see here that didn't work too well. Night maybe. But see, they do a lot of changes to censorship and stuff, but they never improve the system to make it more friendly to find what you're after. I probably should make a playlist and dump it into a playlist to make it easier to find. Now I'm getting so many videos, right? So,
Right.
They'll probably be in the description, probably on one of these lives I did, probably.
No, I can find it some other time. I know where to find it.
I'll have a look.
I just wonder what your thoughts were on it. That's all.
Yeah, it's the 13,000 light years away, whatever it was, signal, 13,000 years old or something. That happened from a guy that did a calculation based on Tesla's radio signal, and he actually made a miscalculation. But he said once he published it and realized the mistake, it was like written in history, and everybody, all the UFO channels picked it up and started broadcasting. Oh, the Black Knight satellite's 13,000 years old. So yeah, I'm not sure what the correct total was for it, but he said yeah, it turned out to be a location where they know there's a pulsar star there that was transmitting some sort of 1, 2, 3 sort of beep sound, where Tesla thought that was like intelligent communication. So that's where that come from. So part of that story comes from that, which they said was actually this black satellite flying over Earth, which is not true. It's totally unrelated. And the image of the crazy shape is because it's like a thermal blanket that's twisted. If you imagine your bedspread that's all crunched up and it's in space floating around, that's why you get that crazy shape.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's any other satellite images apart from that one. That's always the one that I think everybody keeps putting up, is this space plane that slowly changes shape, or it's a different angle to what they photographed it last time. So yeah, so I got all these playlists there. If you go playlist and then click on created playlist, it displays it all properly. And it gets rid of that slidey thing, and then you got all the playlists here you can go through. But I'll make one for Black Knight and stick the episodes that have covered it, so you can actually look at the videos and stuff. But yeah, I was looking for. So if you want to look at paranormal stuff, or look at other members' things, I got a playlist here called Members. So this, if I click and copy that address there and paste it in there, these are all the members that have come on like you have today and told their stories. So that's members' stories. Of paranormal as well as UFOs. It's amazing how many people have seen a UFO but also have seen apparitions in their house. So seems to be a common thing that there seems to be some sort of connection going on. Robert,
yeah, that's a little more in my wheelhouse there.
Yeah, and then we got this one here of mine, where I've had a lot of paranormal over my lifetime. So this is my story, and also Earl from MUFON. He's the chief southern investigator for MUFON. He's a pretty cool guy. He comes on and tells you all the stuff in his past. He's also had alien visitation, which he's only just told to me. He told my channel before any other channel or radio show. He wanted to keep it secret, but he told it for the first time. Once he told it on my channel, he started telling more people about it, and because he was worried about losing his nursing job. He's a nursing job for disabled kids, and yeah, he said if the parents saw it, they might think he's a bit of a crackpot. So this is the problem with people coming on and talking about their stories, right? They're a wee bit scared of losing their job, and of course they ain't got no money to live on. Then makes it really hard, right? especially we got mortgages. So I was looking for my older playlists. I'll be down here probably. Let's see. There, I just posted the link to the global playlist here. It's probably easier. Let's see though. I should be able to read it. Shame you can't colorize the more important ones that you want. Oh, here we go. UFO case files. So it'll be in there. Copy link. These are only like 3-minute videos. Everyone keeps saying I've got 3-hour live streams and I don't want to watch, but I've got lots of different videos up. So they don't look So if I click on that one, it's got 84, right? So if you click on that, it'll play that balloon one again. To start with, that one up there, and you get that little side link here where you can then go through the list and select which ones you want to have a watch of. So there's the one with the sun balloon. Let's have a look. I think it's got to be in here. Oh, here we go. Is this a real UFO? So it looks very similar to your one, this one here. Photograph. It's only a photograph. So we'll just have a look at it again.
Not a bird, fuzzy bird, or fuzzy.
So this one is the clearest photograph I've come across. Which I still wasn't 100% sure if it was a seagull or not.
Well, used was a Kodak.
So you can see here, they posted it on a UFO database, right? Said that that had been investigated. And this is the description from the UFO investigator, MUFON guy, or whatever he is. I couldn't find where his name was, so I was a wee bit suspect straight away. But it was on UFO Center and also Black Vault. Let's see if I can find it. So he said it was a silver object hovering at, what's that place there? Red Dondo Beach, Los Angeles. I'm not sure if I said that right, but you can see here it was 9 AM in the morning, so you'd expect more people to be up around the beach there have noticed it as well. So there was only one witness, which is a wee bit suspect as well. But I've got the original image here. So this is probably the clearest one I've got, where it's possibly a seagull still, because you've got that sort of black outline that happens when you get seagulls. But when you look at it, it looks more solid than it does blurry. So I wasn't too sure about this one. It seemed to have more of a dome shape up the top here, and it seemed to have more of a symmetrical shape than a usual bird photograph. But this was quite a while ago, when I was still learning. So that was when I first started. Now it's 2020. I know a lot more about photograph and the technology behind the cameras. So this is the one where I zoom in further on the picture. You see it's slightly out of focus. A lot of people thought it was a frisbee, right? You can see it's got that sort of shape to it here. But this is a common thing you get with cameras, CMOS cameras. You get this little bright bit at the very end here. And here I've run it through some enhancing sharpening software, and it still has that shape to it, but we're starting to get black bits show up here, which could indicate it being a bird still. So we've got the shape there, it looks symmetrical, you see. It's overlying a typical shape over the top. But yeah, there we got little black bits. See, they look like little windows when I enhanced it there. See that?
Yeah, I can see that.
It's got little square bits. It looks evenly spaced, like 4 windows there. So I wasn't too sure about it. Could be a UFO still.
Could be.
But that one looks a bit more interesting than your photograph, right? So.
Well, sure.
And because it was investigated by a UFO investigator, but although I can't find any reference to the guy, and of course it fell on, if we go back to the date, a day before April Fool's, right? Kind of suspect. So you always got to keep your minds here, you go, March 31st, 2007.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a
Sure.
few red flags on that one. But I'll post a link to that one, and you can have a quick look at it there if you want to.
Yep, I'll take a look at it.
Who we got on? Jay, haven't seen you for a while. Well, we've still got 8 people watching, so they can't be too bored what we're looking at here. So this was LA UFO, or photograph. Now, I'd done some analysis that Earl used for his case. It turned out the one I looked at was actually one he was given to analyse. So he went to investigate it, and he looked at my analysis I did on it, and I said it's most likely like a big raven that flew across the front of the car when he was using a dash cam or something like that, and you could see like the legs of the bird as it's coming down. And of course Tyler used it to say it was a TR-3B. So yeah, so he went to the location, and oddly enough, they got attacked by this big raven bird in broad daylight. He said on the exact same spot where the car was, and he said that was enough to nail it for him that I was correct. It was a black bird that come across attacking the cars or whatever, because there's a lot of bright street lamps there. So yeah. So Earl actually found me through my Tesla documentary. He liked my way of thinking and how I analysed and connect things. And he wanted to get in touch with me on Facebook, and he started talking to me, and we just sort of become friends. I was always a bit suspect of MUFON because there was a lot of bad press about them. Maybe that they had hired some ex-CIA in their group and this and that. But Earl is the general, the full deal package. As far as I'm concerned, he should be running it all because he's the real guy, and he pays it all out of his own pocket. So he does nursing in the day. So I'll just bring up a picture of Earl for you. We got him coming on February, first week of February, first weekend I should say. So if you go to that spooky Earl one. This picture of him there shouldn't auto-play, I don't think, but it might do. Looks like it's trying to. Normally it comes up with a thumb now, right? So let's see. How did we get him on this one? So this is my early days before I actually used live stream, and we're actually talking on Facebook, and I recorded it. So there's a picture of him there, and I've just overlaid a spooky ghost. So that's Earl from MUFON. He's a great guy. He's got some of his own personal stories. So he talks about when he was dating a girl. I'm not sure if he lived with her, but obviously it was a girlfriend, so he probably stayed there. He talked about this picture being taken off the wall and being left on the coffee table while they're in another room. So yeah, he said that after he started dating her, this guy that was obsessed with her had committed suicide. And these strange things started happening in the flat, what do you call it, apartments. And she talked about waking up at like 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning and seeing this burning man, like someone standing in the door frame but on fire. I'm not sure how the guy committed suicide, or whether it was the same guy or if it was something different, but he's talked about that in the episode here, so quite interested in having a listen to it. So I won't ruin it too much.
Yeah. We would be in another room and we would hear noise.
So he's talking about it there. But the best story he's got is about his mother working in an underground base. Really interesting story. Turns out my dad was also in NATO and Royal Air Force, and he also was in underground base. They went multi-stories underground. That's still top secret today, and he's only just told me that recently. So it sort of confirms what his mum was doing underground. So today we got a free for all. Anyone can come on the side chat there. We posted the links there. So if you join, you can even join. What was your name? Sorry, I forgot about it.
It was Bill.
Bill. You can join Bill on the side there, and we can all chat on voice. As you can see, the Jitsi thing works quite good while we're streaming as well on my computer, and I've sort of got it's meant to be unlimited data, but I'm pretty sure they throttle it, especially in the weekends. It can get a bit glitchy at times, can't it? So when I'm loading web pages back the other direction here, it should be really fast because it's 8 times faster downloading than it is uploading. We're on fiber though, which that helps. So J1980's been with me for a few years now, I think. Just watched the video on your channel from 5 years ago. He's talking about the guy that posted on the side, involving the photograph you showed to Paul. So you're called Dover Paranormal Tech, is it? So is that what he's talking about there?
Yeah, Paratech. Actually, yeah. I also sent you a link for a book you should check out.
Okay.
I did that in the program chat.
Oh, right. Yeah, you have to be.
I don't know if you got that or not.
This is what's annoying about Google Side Chat. It doesn't allow you to post links. So you should be able to click on the 3 dots and say, allow this person to post links. You know, for that chat session. I need to have a drink. Yeah, so Earl. He's come on a few times. So this is, you see him on the intro, so that's my intro. I'll just have to type mum, I think. I'll tell you, this search here, it's meant to search my videos, is really terrible. So this one here about his underground base, you've seen the intro. I've used part of it from that episode on my opening intro of the live stream. But go and listen to the whole story about his mum working with Von Braun, of all things. So Von Braun was in this underground base as well, so he knew a lot more than what he was telling the public. So it definitely wasn't Nazis' UFO technology, because he knew that aliens were real and UFO tech was real. And his idea was to get man on the moon using the V2. You know, if you look at the Saturn V rocket, it's based on the V2. All the early rockets were based on what German technology had. So Earl's mum story, go and have a watch that. But he didn't tell me at the end of the interview that the house burnt down after his mother died. When his mother died, they packed up all her belongings and stored it in the house, and oddly enough there was some electrical short that happened and the house burnt down, which is kind of suspect. And I said to him, you didn't have time to search for any documentation or badges to prove that she was working in an underground base. She was very protective of her security clearance. But she claimed that she hired people like Bob Lazar that had no qualifications. But Bob Lazar claims he's got MIT and Caltech and other things, hasn't he? So, which no one can find any proof of. But she said they hired people that didn't have any qualifications, that were like natural geniuses. They preferred people that hadn't been to university because they have their ideas sort of moulded then, rather than keeping it, outside the box thinking. They like to outbox thinking. So she used to recruit them for the Navy, Army, and all that sort of stuff, and the government to do these work on secret technology, basically. So it's a very interesting story. So go and check it out.
I'll do that.
But yeah, really, this is meant to be for free for all, guys, rather than me talking about stuff. But if you're new to the channel, obviously you've got lots of catching up to do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm not sure if it tells us much information on the about screen. So you can see when I started the channel here, November 2016. And I've only had 120,000 views in that time. But you'll see that a lot of my stuff is truthful, and you can verify it, and you can understand what I'm doing when I analyze videos. If you go back to my very first live stream, if you go to my homepage, I've got some of the key ones listed here. If you go to my homepage tab, I've actually got some of the best playlists, make it easy to find. My whole collection, exposing security, and his fakes that he made. And then I've got the next one is the best and much watched episodes. So that's the one to really check out. It's got Earl in it. It's got my Tesla documentary. And next one is Robert. So Robert is who I normally have on Saturdays, but he's sick at the moment. He's got a really bad neck ache that he can't focus on the computer. So I'm doing this as a fill-in one. He normally does it in UK time zones, and it's like 7 in the morning Eastern time, which is no good for most Americans. Most of us night owls, I think, like me, on afternoon to early in the morning, I sort of go right through and then go to bed and sleep to lunchtime. So yeah, there's all the episodes we have done with Robert. A lot of good stuff in that. And of course, they're not 10-minute videos, and there's the one that I did on Hella here. A Hopi Indian Hella connection. It's quite interesting what I found when you look on the map, and also the Kevins, how they connect. The next one was all my uploads, so these changes each time I upload, so that's our current one we're streaming. Next one are my 30 to 50 minute documentaries, well worth checking out. Here's ones here, UFOs over time, and you'll see some of the images that you've just brought up would be very similar to some of these ones starting in the 1970s and onwards. But some of the early photographs of UFOs look like solid craft, right? Either they've been faked with models, or it's actually real Mexican hacks flying saucers. So some of the best stuff always come between 1950s and 60s. And now we got decent technology, and all we get is rubbish photographs, blurs and faraway lights. And then we got the live streams here. So this thing's meant to scroll along, but it's buggy. If you log in, it only shows you the first 18, and then it stops. But there's a whole heap there. There's like 218 of them. Or is it 219 now? And it only shows us the first 18. So that's a bug. But if you log out of your account and then look at it, I think it scrolls properly. So it's obviously a bug. Maybe it doesn't want to show it to you as a user because you logged into your own account. I don't know, but I have reported it, and they don't care. Google don't care that they got bugs in their program. So the only way around that is to click on the header, I think. Let's see. If you click on the header, it opens it up without the scrolly bits, and it gives you the list this way. But even that is limited, I think. Let's go to the live one and see if it scrolls. Uploads. Where's the live ones? Popular uploads. Best playlists. Tic-tac. Live streams. Here we go. Let's see. Has it got 200 in it? Certainly got a lot more than 18 now, you see. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like more of them that way, yeah.
That one's deleted here because it got copyright claim put on it, and I re-edited it. Looks like I need to take it out the list. I'm not sure if I can do that, can I? Remove from my streams. There we go, can do it live. So, I'm not sure if there's any other ones. So I did one on mind controlled, and it seemed to, as soon as I finished the live stream, it had like 4 copyright claims on it because I used little clips from Darren Brown doing hypnosis, and History Channel did one where they hypnotized someone to actually go out and shoot someone. And I've shown that people can actually go against their own moral rights to actually kill someone if they've been hypnotized. You know, you talk about people like Oswald from JFK, that he claimed that he don't remember doing it and stuff like that, which is possible. They may have used MK Ultra techniques on him to make him like a brainwashed zombie.
Yeah, the Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, that's the technical name for it, yeah. But, yeah, it looks like it's trying to bring down all of them.
Sirhan was another one.
Yeah. There's definitely some truth in it. So I did this really great presentation, and I was showing people all the examples and sort of tying it all together into one episode and saying how they can use EMF. And it got all these claims on it, and it said it was banned being viewed in all countries. And I thought, that's very strange. Wow. It's about mind control and about brainwashing people to kill, and it's banned in all countries. Even where I streamed it from, even though I played the clips live on my show, because I use a VPN, so it wasn't a country specific, right? And yeah, it allowed me to play all the clips, and it said you can't watch it in your own country now, and you can't watch it in UK now, and it just got gradually worse and worse. So I decided to deface the clips and re-edit it and re-upload it, and it's not part of the streams list now, but it's still there as an episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. We had a lot of strange stuff happening on the channel too, where it looked like someone was trying to remote hack us while we're going live, and the screens went black and everything locked up. So I don't know if there was any backdoor that the government have. Someone was trying to interfere with my presentation as well. It's really strange. But anyway, not to get into conspiracy theories, but since I've been doing this channel, I've had this strange encounters, which I've posted a link there, of one that only just happened a few weeks ago with this big entity that was in my dream. It's like I was out of body or something. I was watching something that I was not meant to be watching, like I was in a location. And it was after I had started I just finished watching the Hellas series, and I was making observation about how they didn't actually see things I saw, that it was actually linking towards possibly being abductions of kids and the blood types, because they talked about ash, and ash is part of the blood association, and it might be related to people that working into that society. They call it a society, which they often talk about these cults and societies, and I thought, well, it makes sense that if they're in these cults, and if they're working in the black blood bank, we know about alien blood. So I saw these connections that they didn't see in their series, and I thought, this is very strange. They're going more the occult, paranormal way, and not originally the goblins in the cave where it started off, right? And went a totally different direction. And that's because they didn't have any detective on their group, and they didn't have any ufologists on their group. They're more paranormal people, right? So yeah, so I have sent them that message, and then I fell asleep, and then I had this dream of these like these tin pin bowling balls, but they're like 4 foot high and 2 foot wide. They had no features or anything, and they had this sort of transparent fleshy tone on them that had like little spots, camouflage spots on them, and these things were chasing me, and I woke up from this dream. And below me, one of these things almost caught up with me in the dream. Here it is hovering over my bed, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. And it was trying to attack me, and I jumped out of bed screaming at this thing to fuck off.
Really?
Yeah, swear word. But that's I was really scared. I was scared for my life. This thing was out to get me. It wasn't like normal paranormal shows where they talk about it being a goat or whatever, a demon's head. It was just like a normal blob, basically, and it was attacking me, and I was swinging my quilt at it, which is a heavy feather thing. That's all I had as a weapon, and it backed off, and I got to the door, opened up my door, and I was in the hallway screaming at it, and the dogs, we had 5 dogs in the house, come running down the hallway to see what was going on. and this thing expanded into a cloud and disappeared. I'm not sure if one of the dogs managed to see it before it disappeared, but I had the camera next to my bed, and I didn't even think about grabbing the camera because I was fear of my life. I felt like it was going to jump me or take me over or suffocate me or something like that. I had this doom fear. So I talk about it in an episode a few Sundays back, and it sort of made me very hard to sleep now because it seems that they attack you when you're least ready to defend yourself. But
All right, what's the last thing you think about at that time anyway? Is your camera?
What's the last thing I recorded?
No, that would be the last thing you'd think about.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. I keep talking to people, why don't you get it on camera? But now I've experienced something crazy in my life like that. I can understand why they didn't want to grab a camera because it's only there for, let's see, how long was it there for? Probably 20 seconds at the most, and it was gone. But yeah, so yeah, I had to talk about it in case any other people would. But yeah, just imagine a big 10-pin pin from a bowling alley, the white pins. Just imagine expanding that 2.5 feet wide and 4 feet high. So I was wondering if it's paranormal or alien, because previously to that I had this crazy dream where I had aliens in the bedroom. One was sticking a needle in my spine, and I had a really bad back. And I passed out, and then I wake up the next day normally, and then it come flooding back to my memory again what happened in that dream, and my back pain had gone. and I thought that was really strange. I remember having massive pain at the time and lifting up the bed covers because I had it over my head, sort of covering the light in the morning, and I couldn't move, and all I could move was just my arms at the elbow, and I was trying to push this alien that was sticking a needle in my back because I was on my side, and I only had shorts on. I wasn't wearing any top or anything, so I was sort of nude, so it would be perfect for him. And I lifted up the cover, and I saw this alien grey head, and I thought, surely this couldn't be a dream. It was too realistic, and the eyes were like this deep blackness. And I kind of flashed back to a memory when I started talking to Earl. He said that he thinks that they're monitoring what we're saying on Facebook because some stuff that we talked about, which is not well known, he suddenly got someone contact him the next day asking him about information on this particular UFO case. And he thought that was really strange. And he thought, well, he didn't even know the guy, and the guy was out of the blue. He thought they definitely were spying on what we're talking about. And he talked about his alien visitation that he had, and he said, don't be surprised if you start getting alien visits. Now you're talking to me, because it's happened to other people, especially people that are serious investigators into this phenomenon. And I thought, oh crap. I said, well, at least I might be able to document it. But of course, if you can't move, but it wasn't like normal sleep paralysis, because you normally sleep paralysis, you can't move at all. I could move my arms and I could lift up the cover. And then I looked at this creature next to the bed, and he looked deep in my eyes, and it's almost like he passed me out. Like people were saying in their abduction experiences, like they can focus on you and somehow it knocks you out. But yeah, I'm not sure what that was all about, but that was one crazy dream, if it was a dream. So yeah.
It was helpful, right?
Sorry?
Took the pain away, so it was helpful, right?
It took away the pain for a long time, but it's because I kicked the ball around, it's sort of come back, but it's never been as bad. It's never been as bad as what it was back then, which is kind of strange, because back then I would be literally screaming out in pain, getting up and down, and now I don't have much of a problem like that, but I still have a problem if I do too much twisting or bending. It's still, some pain comes back. So if I kick a ball for the dog at the park and whatnot. But yeah, it sort of changes your world perspective when you have this stuff happen, and you think that was too real to be a dream, because if it was a dream and you fall asleep, and when I fell asleep, all I could dream about was this alien head and a tube. I could see this tube, and he was trying to push it into me, which made no sense whatsoever, and that's all I could see in the dream. So having a dream inside a dream doesn't make any sense to me. It had to be like I woke up and then fell back to sleep, and then something else happened after that where I had this dream of them doing something to me. I don't know. Kind of crazy. But if you ever listen to Earl's spooky one, not spooky one, I think it might be the second episode or something. It's there somewhere. He talks about his experience there. It's in the members playlist. Let's have a look again. He talks about it first time, and then he recaps it later in a live session that we do. So if we go to members here, totally play, but we just want the side thing coming up. Yeah, I'll catch up on the side chat in a minute. What's this? In some individual cases, events during sleep paralysis can fulfill extremely realistic. I don't know. Until it happens again with the aliens, I can't really say if there's something more going on. But you've heard about other ufologists also admitting, proper ufologists that do investigations and actually do field research. All have come out saying that they've also had visitations sometime in their life. Jacobs has said that now, and you've got Robert Hastings that did UFO and nukes research. It took him 17 years to write that book, by the way. So yeah, so here we go. We got Earl on the side here talking about it first of all. So I'll just copy that from that episode with the current time. And you go and have a listen to what he's talking about. His wife actually can back up his claim, so he's lucky to have a wife in the bed that actually got woken up when it happened. So I believe his story, because I know him to be very honest, and his wife. So yeah, go and have a listen to Earl's visitation.
Okay, I'll put that link up. Yep, open
time.
that window up too.
But yeah, he talks on here about it. Like I said, he didn't want to make a big deal about it because he was scared about his job.
Because they so horrified him, and his ETs were so abusive to him, apparently.
Oh.
And I have other people where, it's like the greatest thing that ever happened in their lives. For me, I'm not willing to give up my synchronicities. I mean, that's like the magic of my life. I mean, it seems like somebody's writing a script that I'm involved in sometimes. The way that, meaningful coincidences follow meaningful coincidences. My life is more meaningful than it was 4 years ago.
Yep.
In a personal way.
Yep.
And I attribute that to my ET. My own experience was not that pleasant. The initial one, it was.
So his aliens were
that's
evil.
the only one where I ever saw an entity. It was not a pleasant experience. It scared the hell out of me. I did not get a telepathic message that said that we will not harm you. And they took a lot of blood, is what I remember of it. I don't know that I remember the whole experience. I used to think that I did, but now I'm thinking that perhaps, I probably partially remember my experience. And it was scary as hell. But the takeaway has been this positive thing,
Bet you should tell the people what your experience was, because I don't think you've told it.
Yeah, I may as well. We're deeply enough into this show that if you're this committed to it, that you listened all the way through.
It's only 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I would just ask that you don't, put on the header to this that Earl talks about his visitation. When I first joined MUFON, I really didn't know that much about the phenomenon, except what I had read in maybe the 20, 25 books that I'd read on the subject. You know, over the years of my life, I've been interested in the phenomena. I didn't necessarily completely believe that it was a real phenomena. I had my mom's stories, and at certain points in my life, my mom's story of where she worked in the underground military base was an inconvenient truth. I kind of I wanted life to be simpler than that. So when I joined MUFON, my main thrust and main interest was I wanted to prove to myself whether it was real or it was a fake thing, because I really didn't know. I believed my mom, but it's like, well, maybe the government told her that. Maybe it was, you know, black projects that they were working on, and the cover story they gave my mom was that it was aliens. You know, they could do that, you know. So I really didn't know, and so I went into this pretty much really in a selfish way. It was for my own personal knowledge. I wanted to know if it was a real thing or not. Because
sure
to me,
clicking.
I've always been obsessed by the idea of extraterrestrial visitors. From the youngest age, you know, I was reading science fiction books. I was watching shows that had to do with this. It was just the most interesting thing to me.
Bill's gone.
But UFO stories, sometimes they seem pretty outlandish. Some of them were pretty damn silly, you know. And when I would think of aliens, you know, it was like the Great Gazoo character on the Flintstones or something. I really, you know, it's like, well, you know.
Okay, he's dropped off.
So when I
wanted to
MUFON,
look at the other
really
pictures there, Bill, though.
I wanted to know whether it was real or not.
But we can
do
it again.
If it wasn't real, I was going to, you know, it was like, good. I can put this to rest, you know. If it was real, I didn't know what I was going to do with that information, but I wanted to know. So I joined MUFON, and I told Jeff, my boss, I told him my mom's
I'll listen to this again, because
that's
quite a good story.
It definitely piqued his interest. And just as an experiment, I started doing like a little, and I didn't even know about Stephen Greer at that point, or not much about him. I didn't really know him from Joe. You know, I'd sort of read a bunch of stuff, but I started doing the mind messages. I was sending them out.
Anyone else want to come on out there? Anyone else want to come on the side chat? The links are there. Just have to click on it. If you're on Chrome, you can just come in, turn off your video. Even doesn't matter. You can just talk on voice, and it just puts up a little character that flashes. So yeah, if you want to talk about your UFO stories, or just come on and talk about UFO anything, just click on that link and you come. You just have to type in username and that's it. You don't need to create an account or anything. And if you're on another device other than Windows, you need to download the app. But make sure you give your browser a permission to use the mic when it pops up. But normally it puts a little camera icon here, which you can click on, and you can bring up the little menu. It tells you to allow access. Congrats on exceeding 2,000 subs. Yeah, thanks. It's taken a long time, and also we've broken the limit for getting our ads back, which I don't really want ads, but to keep a channel safe from purge, apparently you need Google wants to make money from your channel, so you need ads. Alright, so catch-22. So I might have to put on front ads again when I get it. You can skip it after 10 seconds anyway, so it's no big deal. So yeah, we'll just listen to Earl's story here. Just having a break while I have a drink. But yeah, I was trying to make this so people come on and talk about their stories today, and just join me on the side chat if they want to. And it was good that we got someone to pop on there. So hopefully more and more people want to come and talk about their UFO pictures and stuff and have me look at it or whatever.
I want you to take me. I want to meet you. And I was doing it on a regular basis. You know,
so Earl's talking about meditation here. He was doing like, was it CE5 as it's called? Where they reach out to aliens to come and take me. He said he didn't know about Dr. Grey at the time. He was new to MUFON, like 15 years ago, was it? So I just keep on playing it here.
I was younger, and I kind of used the same meditation techniques, and I was just on a regular basis. It's like I was pestering them, is the way I thought about it. It's like if I bug them enough, maybe it'll happen. That would be a easy fix, a quick fix, you know, just abduct me. I want you to abduct me, you know. Yeah. I would not recommend that.
No.
All right. In retrospect, no, you don't want to do that. But anyway, it was after I had passed my field investigator's test, and I think I'd already done one case. I'd closed a case that was a star-shaped mylar balloon, and I felt real proud of myself. It's like, that's a mylar balloon. You know? it's a star-shaped mylar balloon. So, but I kept sending that thought out there. And one night I went to bed. I hadn't taken any psychotropic drugs, if that's a question anybody would have. I might have had a beer, you know. And in the middle of the night, it was maybe 12:31 in the morning, our house started flooding with a strange light. Now, when I say it's a blue light, it wasn't blue like you turned on the blue spotlight. It's just that the word blue is the best one that I can think of to describe it. It was this cool light that was flooding our house.
Like this here.
You know, in our bedroom, anyway. Our bedroom.
Like these ones.
Yeah. That's pretty darn close. That's pretty darn close.
That looks like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
There's a dog.
But I didn't think of that.
There's a dog there. Baby cot.
Now, when this was happening, Paul, I had like a new, we had just gotten iPhones, and I looked over to my iPhone because I thought, well, maybe it was my iPhone. Maybe it's something on my screen, and it, you know, somebody tried to call me or something, and there was a light from. But no, it wasn't coming from any one place. It was coming from all around. It was as if it was pervading the walls of our house. So I'm lying in bed and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is happening when suddenly, slowly, I couldn't move my fingers. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't scream. I couldn't do anything. I'm lying there, and I thought about a patient of mine that I had who was a quadriplegic. I was horrified. I mean, it's like a internal bit of horror that I've all, you know, people are scared of cockroaches, people are scared of snakes, spiders. I'm afraid of becoming a quadriplegic because I've taken care of them, and I can't think of anything more horrifying.
Yep.
Well, suddenly I'm lying in my bed and I'm a quadriplegic. And I was not asleep. The light became a little brighter. We had a cricket problem in our house, and I could not hear crickets. That stood out to me. It was so quiet. It was almost like, you know, in Get Smart, the old comedy show, they had the cone of silence. That's what That's what I thought. You know, it was like, what the hell? It's like, you know, the perfect silent room. So I was lying there, and I went into what I would call a hypnagogic state. It was not a dream state, and it wasn't wakefulness. It was almost, it was just, the best I can describe it, if to look up the word a hypnagogic state, is what it felt like I had gone into.
Right.
Now, the corner of our room began to swirl, sort of like, you know, in Scooby-Doo cartoons where they do the blah, 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 blah thing, you know. Well, there was like this swirling pattern that was going on in the corner of the room. Now I'm lying there, I can't move. There is this light in the room, and the wall is beginning to swirl. And at this point, you know, the hypnagogic state is more, I don't even know how to describe it, but I was not dreaming, but it wasn't full wakefulness either. And the wall, the corner of our room became like semi-permeable to where you could see beyond the wall. It was, I guess, you know, I mean, you hear people talk about portals, you hear them talk about stargates, portals, and what have you, but I'd never seen anything like this before. There was distance that you could see. It was like there was a hole in the wall. And there, these little shadowy guys came through. It was like they slid through, like you would see, like they were on a platform that was carried in.
Yep.
Now, you know, I've since then I've read certain accounts where they float right over the ground.
Yep.
They weren't walking, they weren't moving themselves. It was as though they were carried over, like they were sliding on glass or ice skating to my bed. I mean, all this is going on, and I'm horrified. I can't move. I'm not dreaming. But I'm not. It does. I mean, I didn't know what I was. And they came around my bed, and as far as I know, they visited me. Although maybe they did take me. I don't know. I don't know at this point. You know, I've thought for a long time that perhaps that it was a visitation, but you know, I mean, they could have just as easily taken me. I don't know, but I was still lying there. I was in the same position, and they were taking blood from me. They had these tubes that came out, and they attached to me, and they were taking blood and taking. I didn't know that much about the phenomenon, but I did.
So this is really interesting here. That is like grabbed out the bed, dragged through his wall of his house, which was like jello, and then that almost drained out all the blood out of him. And he hasn't had anything since then. So this was obviously Christmas time, because I've got my decorations up there. What time was that? December 2018, right? So obviously he was on holidays.
Know that people would get a calming message. There would usually be somebody that would say, you know, there would be a tall creature that would come and say, we're not going to harm you. Don't worry, you're going to be all right. This is going to be over soon. There was none of that. I didn't get a comforting message from anything. I don't know what it's like to get a
So he's saying his alien visit was evil. A lot of people say they're either evil or good. A lot of them saying they're good, but he never got any of that side of it where they were saying that they're trying to help humans or the planet. So yeah, does that mean that there could be two types of alien races out there, or like there's good and bad aliens out there floating around? Obviously his wife can back up the claims of the house going white, and she made a comment, is this what I have to put up with for future of alien visits or something like that, and then she fell back to sleep. But yeah, interesting story he's got there, especially after he just told about his mum's underground base. This was when it all happens, and he was wondering if it was like some sort of initiation that see how good you are for MUFON or something, you know.
ESP message from anybody, because they didn't, you know, I didn't get that. There was a tall figure standing that kept standing. I think of him as a sentinel.
Yep.
That was standing in the area on the wall that they had come through. Anyway, I was horrified. I thought that they were going to kill me. I thought about, you know, I thought they were going to desanguinate me. I thought about the cattle that they find, you know, with no footprints, and I wondered if they were going to vivisect me. I really didn't know, because I didn't get a calming message. That's what kept going through my mind. I haven't had where's my calming message? Where's my calming message? And I didn't get one. Anyway, they finished up as quickly as they had started, and they left. And they didn't turn around and walk out. You know, they were still facing me, but they slid back through the portal that they had come through, and it closed up. And I still couldn't move. I couldn't move for a while.
Mhm.
The room was still filled with light, but slowly the light came back. The crickets came back. And as soon as I could move, I started screaming. And I grabbed my wife, I grabbed Lisa, and I was screaming and screaming. I couldn't even tell her what had happened. When I finally could tell her, she was just like, oh, you know, is this what I have to look forward to? You know, you join these guys and you're going insane. You know, what are you, you know?
I thought she was awake when it happened too.
We had a couple of other nights that same week.
All right.
The second time, I did not wake up, but Lisa shook me and woke me up, and the house was still flooded with light.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa said, you need to tell your little friends that they need to leave us the F alone. It wasn't, you know, she said the F word, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she was angry, you know, that was the response. The third night we both woke up, and it was just the same old thing. It was the room was flooded with blue light.
So you're careful there not to say the F words, but it's you know, when you get scared like that, it's the first thing that comes out your mind. Yeah.
I ran to the window. I'm looking up. I'm trying to see where it was coming from, but it was actually coming from all angles. That was a thing, but it was brightest above, and it was so bright you couldn't see anything. You couldn't see. You know, at this point I knew it wasn't a helicopter. I knew what was going on.
So that's very interesting there. That this UFO is obviously above the house, right? And no one saw it. And yet he's saying it's illuminated bright. So we talked about this before, that maybe aliens are using like the symmetric particle of light, which behaves very similar, but it's actually invisible from the outside. You have to be inside the barrier of the being to actually experience it, because it might be like a interdimensional thing, right? So outside, it's totally invisible. The craft is invisible, but it's hovering above the house, and they can do whatever they want. Just come through the walls, grab you, do something to your mind with EMF or whatever it is with their brains. Maybe they've got some implant that transmits something that sort of paralyzes you, and they can drag you off, right? It's very fascinating, and more stories you hear about this, especially if we can get some people coming on telling about their abduction stories, the more we're going to figure out and get connections, right? So to me, I can understand why he wouldn't have a phone to be able to access to video it, because you're scared for your life, right? And it's the last thing you think about. And even if you set up the cameras in the bedroom, they go faulty. So you'd have to think outside the box of how we can get around them disabling the technology, whether there is a way or not. Faraday cages, that sort of stuff, or filming across the road so you can sort of see if the camera goes wonky at that same time. So yeah, different meters that collect data constantly and store it. You know, like an EMF meter that sort of automatically records all the time and stores it. Radiation detector and that sort of stuff. So that's the sort of technology and thinking that we need to progress further to see if we can actually nut this out. Unless we got a worldwide mass hallucination of aliens coming into bedrooms, it's kind of strange. It's like a new phenomenon that needs to be studied, not laughed at, right? So you got a lot of people from police, military also talking about abductions that they've had. People working for NSA. He's got someone from NSA, he said. They can't obviously talk about it publicly, so it's off the records. But he would lose his security clearance if he started talking about aliens. So yeah, it's quite fascinating.
You know, and I couldn't believe it was going on, and I didn't know who to talk to. First person I told was Peter Robbins. He was the only person I could think of to tell. And I told him about, you know, I mean, I tried to almost joke about it because I felt embarrassed to tell him. You know, I felt embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And I said something about, well, they brought out sippy straws, you know. they he's like, sippy straws, and I don't know that he didn't know me very well at that point, you know. So I don't know that he even believed me. Now I think he does. You know, he's known me a long time, and he knows I'm a solid person. I'm not fantasy prone, and I'm not one to make stuff up.
So what is sippy straws? Because I haven't heard of that term.
They're like crazy straws.
All right, let me just type
the
it
little
in.
straws that are in a loop, you know, and they did look like that a little bit because it was just haphazard tubes, you know, that they attached to me, and that, you know, they were taking my blood. They took a lot of blood, and there were no marks on me. There were no marks, and that was another problem. And I was really angry that this happened because I wanted to meet Space Brothers, you know, Valiant Thor, bring it on, you know, Acute Nordic, sure, you know. But no, these were like the little wordless, little short gray guys with reflective eyes. And, you know, at the time, I thought that they were looking at me almost begrudgingly. But now that I remember the facial expressions, it was just kind of a blank facial expression. It was robotic, is what it looked like, you know.
Yep, sippy straws.
And this was my experience. I've never had another experience like that.
No.
I hope not to. You know, if it's that one, no. You know, I don't want another experience like that.
No.
And to this day, I wonder why it happened, or I don't know if they needed something from me, or if they put an implant in me, or if they took one out, or I really don't know what it was about. Except, you know, for a long time I thought, well, maybe it was a MK Ultra thing. Maybe it was all in my mind, and it was, you know, it was done to me to dissuade me from becoming a UFO investigator.
Yep.
I've moved away from that. I think that it actually was a visitation I had. Kathleen Marden said that there are rogue groups of Greys out there, and that they can be very cruel, and that you don't get a message, and that my account wasn't the first one like that she's ever heard.
Yep.
And there you go, Paul. You got I gave you my little bit of disclosure there, because it's hard to talk about it, and I haven't really. This is the first time I've ever talked about it at length on air. That's for sure. So that's for you, my friend.
I think the more people that talk about these experiences, the more people come forward with saying that happened to me. So
yeah.
That's the problem. Not many people come out publicly, and then everybody looks at them and think they're Fruit Loops and stuff, you know. And
yeah, well, I know other UFO investigators that have had experiences that you would know. You know, they have books and stuff. They've gone through a similar thing.
Yeah,
it's apparently not a.
So we'll leave it there. It's no point, because that live was another free for all. I think. Let's see. That was like my first free-for-all. We never had anyone come on, and people could have come on and talked to a real-life investigator that does it every day, all year, and no one come on, which was a shame. And that was using, back then, Hangouts on the air, I think, was it? Or Discord. We may have been using Discord video, not sure. Can't quite read the heading up there. Is it Hangouts? Oh no, it's Hangouts. So we're using Hangouts back then. That's why it's a wee bit crappy audio. But yeah, now we're using this Jitsi, and it's really good piece of software. But yeah, he said quite a lot there, which is quite interesting. You can see that MUFON are real people. Not all of them working for the government. A government person would never tell his story live on air for the first time. And this Earl knows all about all the hoax channels out there on YouTube, and yet he comes on mine. He knows about mine, and he's going to keep coming on mine to tell us more and more of the stories that he investigates. So that would be good. He definitely wouldn't go on secure teams. He knows he's a total hoaxer, fraud, and creates a lot of noise that he often gets on MUFON reports there. He thinks even some of them might be might be his fakes making it onto MUFON as well. See if he can get one over on them. A lot of people put fakes into MUFON all the time to see it it's like a trophy win if it gets through to being an unknown. But these guys are good, like myself. They're able to pick up on all the fakes, the edited metadata and all that sort of stuff, and suss it out pretty quickly that it was hoax with balloons or whatever. But yeah, he gets a lot of good cases too, and of course a lot of those don't become public, and they stay open, so they never end up being public. They always stay open because they get visitations, so it stays open, so it never goes to UFO Stalker or MUFON database to the public. So yeah, he can relay some of those to us that he's investigating that are currently open, which is really good. He's a good guy. And as far as I'm concerned, he should be running the whole shebang. He knows what's going on. You got the Jan House, and he likes the guy, but I don't particularly like the guy myself. He's too business-like, and he's in thick with Elizondo stuff and To The Star stuff, and these guys are not, which makes them more credible. Because Elizondo is ex-government, ex-CI, and all that sort of stuff, isn't he? So they could be there as like a Mr. Dotty to disinformation agent. So that's one of them, and he repeats it again in another live show further on, talking about alien abductions, and he tells more stories then as well. So yeah, I'll keep on trying these free-for-alls, see if we can get more and more people interested in coming on. Not sure if I have the energy to do it Saturdays though, because if I'm still doing Robert's early morning, which I don't go to bed till 7, there's no way I'm going to be up for afternoon to be able to do it. Hopefully we could get Robert to move over to this time slot, because I reckon a time slot, because it would be really good if he could plough through his cases in his early morning like I have to do instead. Oh, my voice box is going. Believe it or not, we're coming up to almost 3 hours, and I'm going to have to get going. And we only looked at one case. But yeah, it's been good. No complaints. And I got all this stuff to go over tomorrow in the same time span. What's Jay posting here? What's that link? Sippy Straw. One of them is back washing. YouTube. What's that link there about Jay? 1980. I'll tell you, my voice is going. I haven't really done that much talking, I don't think, either. So anyway, this one we confirmed was the space station before Bill come on. We were looking at that there. We still had that running. Maybe that was causing a bit of a glitch. But there, you can see 3D space where the satellites are. Like it goes out different distances. And that's not all of them being displayed either. That was just the bright ones, right? So yep. Yep, you found me on Discord now there, Bill, and you'll be happily commenting with Shelley, as she's one of the regulars. I thought she might be on today, but she's going to be on Sunday. Yeah, she's had a wee bit of problems with her iPad that got hacked, and they reset the iTunes password, so she can't update the software properly on there. And she's having to use a hack to get the Jitsi across, which is a crazy thing to do. But yeah, she tries to get her partner's phone, a Samsung. It's not the best. A tablet is better, and a PC is obviously the best thing with Windows. So what I thought she might have popped up on the side there. I did broadcast it that I was going to do either a free-for-all Friday or Saturday, and looks like they missed missed what it was going to be on, but that's alright. And she's going to come on and talk more about her childhood experiences and show us some pictures where she lived and some drawings of the UFO she saw and whatnot, and do it a bit better, because last time we did it on Discord voice only and not Jitsi, and she had bad equipment there and wasn't the best audio quality. Yeah, so yeah, we did do some interesting recaps there for newcomers on how to look up the International Space Station. I'm not sure if there's anything quickly we can look at here. Let's have a quick look at this one. It's got a video. So, like I said, the time we go through each MUFON thing, it could take quite longer than 10 minutes, right? Everybody wants 10-minute videos. So this one's got a reflective tic-tac flying faster than a commercial plane. So that one sounds like it would have been interesting to download and have a watch, maybe. So, can we see in the picture here at all? So this again, we're not too sure about. But I can't see anything in that photograph popping out. So it might be very small. So the problem with these people, they're still not using the apps. You know, you've got to use the Heavens Above app to see if it's a bright satellite passing in the sky above the plane. And also you've got to look at the flight radar using it and holding it up to the sky and see if it maps any plane numbers next to it. And by looks at this guy hasn't in fact, he hasn't even got a proper picture here. Looks like he's doing a screen snapshot. What languages is that? Fido. Is that part of America's ISP? Fido, what's that mean? Spanish for something? But anyway, I don't think we've got time to look at it. He's got a detailed description, so let's have a listen to what he's got to say here. Might be one we have to keep it there for next time.
My girlfriend and I went down to Crescent Beach, BC, Canada for a walk when we started watching some planes, when my girlfriend noticed underneath an oncoming plane headed from Garibaldi Mountain to Havre Airport had a smaller but close in size tic-tac object coming under the plane and passing it with more speed, to which it gained a large distance in front of the plane. The plane and planes around, even at greater distances you could make the wings and tail wings of the plane and shadows accordingly. The tic-tac showed no sign of other structures and was silent with no condensation trail or emissions. It silently passed the plane from below and continued to the other direction before turning at an angle and moving toward the Burnaby North Surrey border. We got a video of it when we could, as it just passed the plane. In the video you can see from the right-hand side and around 2-3 yards up from the bottom a silver craft moving very fast, making it hard to pick up and film in time. We took still frames from the video to show it better.
So that could even be like a Mylar balloon silver. They can get quite big. So we'll have to look at the video and have a good look at it. So I'll just have a quick look at this link J1980 posted. I hate how it puts studio in front. Goes wrong. Stupid Google. Okay, let's see if that works. So what's this one? Right. Cemetery. Is it a ghost one? Let's have a look. I was outside. It's gone. So I won't get a copyright claim on it since it's Bill's. So let's have a quick look. I was outside, noticed strange lights in the sky. What made it different is that it was changing to every colour in the rainbow. I hurried inside to grab my HD. Okay, so you got to remember, a lot of junk in the sky uses these LEDs now, which do that sort of thing. So it depends how big it is. So let's have a look. 14th, that's when they started releasing the new LED stuff. 2014 from China.
There's this weird light in the sky here. I can't get it.
We've got some wind noise. So is it on a phone? Live camera. So what are we looking at? This here? That's, I don't know, we got no reference point. What are we looking at? So this is where you need a daytime snap of where you're filming and overlay it so people can see where the light is comparison to the roof line or whatever. Sort of helps out with visualizing what you're used to, like, and we could sort of discount things then. But I'm not seeing multiple colors change here. Venus will do that too, as well, going through atmospherics. It will actually make it pulse with different colors: red, green, blue. Yeah, it could be a LED balloon still. It's a very small light source, isn't it? We're talking about a few pixels here. But if, it must be on a proper camera though, if you can do an optical zoom. Here we go. What's that? Is that optical or digital zoom we're using here? Sort of does look like it's flashing like you would for a lead balloon there.
It just disappeared.
What
the hell?
It's amazing how much junk in the skies now. Which sort of ruins it, really.
Well, it's gone.
No, it's still there. Yeah, there it is. I saw it. Saw it again. So could it be like someone's got one of those lead kites, maybe? Yeah, there's a big pause there. Why is that?
So I'm not touching it.
So now you're getting that, what I call the cell look. So that's caused by atmospherics, where as the light passes towards where your camera sensor is actually bending the light. It's going through a layer of cold and hot air before it gets to the camera, and what it does is all the light that's in the center there gets bent into like a donut shape. I've sort of explained it in previous lives. Also, because it's not probably real up close optical zoom as well, it can change how it looks.
Changing colors, but it's not moving.
Yeah, to me, that straight away looks like one of these lead balloons that alternates between different colors. That's my gut feeling on this one.
Magnification is on this 35x.
Someone could have it on on a fishing line and just wheel it back in a helium balloon. Sometimes they use these for fishing, and they have a line coming down. I'm not sure whereabouts you are, if you're near a coastline or a lake or something. But nighttime fishing, and they just put a wee bit of blinky light on it so they can see whereabouts it is.
It's just not moving in the sky.
There's all sorts of possibilities here. So you got your fishing kites, and you got your lead balloons. And because it's like those regular colours that you get for LEDs, your bright reds, bright whites, bright blues, I didn't see any yellow there, and I didn't see any green or purple, red balloon. It could be one of these huge ones, so you can see how big these ones are, but I don't think it's that one. It's more likely to be these ones here. See how bright these damn things get? Especially if you've got a whole bunch of them tied together and you release it into the air. And of course we've got some more colours. There's a whole heap of them. In fact, you can get LED packs now and stick it in any type of balloon you want. Latex, Mylar balloon. So these ones light up. They've got happy birthday on it, I suppose, is it? Oh, Bailey. It's got the name of the person. But more likely they're going to be these great big huge white ones. But like these ones here, you get them big white ones that just alternate between blues, reds, whites. So it could be on a line, it could be just in the airspace, airflow where it's not moving much and it looks like it's sort of hovering. To me, to be a UFO video, it would have to be like you're filming on it and then suddenly it goes vertically upwards at high speed and disappears. That to me would discount a balloon straight away. Alright. Also, you hear the wind noise in the background there, and was it moving away with the wind? See that you've got to sort of notice your environment around you, see how it's sort of moving, and sort of debunk it yourself, right? So, but anyway, I should really get going. It's been pretty good to have a look at all this sort of stuff today. So what did you think it was? Did you have any ideas? Wrong description? What was that? Optical, but couldn't focus. Well, at least someone knows what it is. Yeah, so you can narrow it down. You can look at something and narrow it down, and then if you can get some other information that sort of can pinpoint the direction. So, like if you get the wind direction, why did the first one disappear? Did it pop? Which is a good explanation why things disappear. So it pops. You don't see it suddenly, the LED light fall back to the ground, because I like these little 3-volt packs they have on them. Let's have a look. There's like more stuff in the sky that we just got to debunk now. You see, you get the wedding ones here, which are bright white ones. Look how bright they are, you know, and they can get quite big too, big as a human. They've got various sizes, colours, and they let go of them, and up in the sky they go, and someone films it and says it's a UFO, right? Not only that, you can get LED ones that are different characters, like you can get a lead jellyfish, I think, now. Jellyfish balloon that freaks out people when they see it. They're not cheap to buy, but it makes you wonder why people let them go up in the atmosphere. It must be by accident, right? So these are all the LED jellyfish you can get. If you saw something like that flying over your head, you'd think it was like a critter, right? Look how bright they are, you see? That definitely looks like something from outer space if you saw that up in the sky, right? And there's another one. But some of these are not helium, but you can get round ones as well, which I've talked about previously, that do float. Another one there, various designs. But look, they even got it in fish tanks now, so how's that work? Do they have little batteries in it and makes them swim around like artificial jellyfish? It's amazing what the Japanese keep knocking out though and selling. So that's the first time I've seen that one. They got holographic ones. Oh, it's just amazing. What's that one there? Pet jellyfish, see? robotic jellyfish for a display piece in an office or whatever. Just crazy stuff out there you can get. We got LED light for balloon. See if that comes up. And then you got the drones. You can add in drones on that. And then you got RC kites, which are not on any cable, but have actually some have propellers. One might even have a jet engine, I think. And then you got the blimps. So you got the blimps that come out with lights on them now, and they can fly around in the sky and have a bit of fun. Make a fake video, set it into MUFON or whatever. So you've got to keep an eye on what the technology's doing out there and what pollution we got to deal with. Balloon, LED light balloon for balloon battery. I don't know. Is it going to give us a pack? Here we go. Highlights your event with our LED balloon lights. So let's have a look at that one. Does it give us any more information? Oh, I want to do that. Just wanted to click on it. Little handheld ones. There you go. These are LED lights you just put into balloon. So that's one you can get. Here we go. Light up the big ones. You got these ones here. 24 pack of lights. It's got the bright LEDs on the end here. Looks like it's got a battery. It looks like one of those little small 5-volt ones, is it? 6-volt batteries that you put in garage remotes. 12-volt batteries. Last for ages, right? So yeah, you can make up your own sort of balloon, and they're showing you how you can insert it. Here we go, we got some examples of it lit up. So yeah, there's a lot out there. And then you got the RC kites as well. See, kites, LEDs, and they can be any size. These can be like 3 or 4 humans big, right? So they're quite big. And they're remote control. You don't have to have a fishing line on them. Fly them around. So I don't know if they could use those for fishing kites or not, but they might do. They can change colours. They don't have to have tails on them either. This one doesn't have. It's got a propeller on the top here. See that? And you just put a whole string of LED lights around the outside, and then you got a TRB-3B in the sky, right? And you can make up your own one even, right? So a lot of people do that. Here you go, with LED lights. Is that a plain kite? Here we go, LED module strip for kite lamp. So it's actually a kite, looks like a plane. It's never ending, right? So helicopter with 3 blades, is it? Here's a big one here. So you got to keep all this in mind. Here's one shaped like a hang glider. There'll be some pictures here of one standing next to it. They're quite big, some of these kites. So you can see them from a great distance away from a park where someone's flying it. So, yeah. Someone's got a Star Trek one here, look. With LEDs all around the outside. Is he running it with a propeller? Looks like he is. So they, because the battery packs are so powerful with the engines, they can literally fly anything in the sky. It doesn't have to be aerodynamic at all. They can just fly it around with the full force of the propeller motion, which is quite interesting. And if it's far enough away, you won't hear it. So you won't hear the bzzz noise. I think someone's even flying a phone book around the sky. You just open it up, fold it in the middle, and put the propeller in the middle. You can just fly it around. People got witches on broomsticks flying around. So yeah. Unfortunately, there's no pictures of people standing next to him here. A whole bank of them here. yeah, I've covered it lots and lots of times though. You know, people that come to my live show probably get sick of me talking about them, but yeah, it's always good to recheck to see if there's anything new that's popping up on the list. RC kite without leads and probably give us some more results. There you go. Different shapes again. That one looks like a pterodactyl even. There we go. And we got a small one here. I was looking for the really big ones, just to show you. Here's a big one. There you go. Not the biggest. That's probably medium size. You can get them a lot bigger than that. Now, if you saw that flying over your house, you'd wonder what it was, wouldn't you? So, yeah, I better wrap up anyway, guys. I'm going to talk about this stuff forever and a day. But yeah, interesting video. Thanks for sharing it anyway. We can't really say what it is, not enough information on that. But we can narrow it down. Lead kite, lead balloon, fishing kite, RC toy of some kind, or UFO. So that's all we can sort of narrow it down to. So yeah, I'll just wrap up now and we'll carry on tomorrow, hopefully. And I might have a look at that if we get time, this case here. So yeah. So I'll just say goodnight on the side here and wind down. Yep. Thanks for joining us, Jay. Will you be here tomorrow at 2 p.m? Is it 2 p.m. I'll do it? Yeah. 2 p.m. to 5 I normally do it. And already you can see I'm over time here. Sometimes I might start at 15 minutes earlier just to kick it off. So good night. We'll try the free-for-all again in future. One person at least, that's better than 0 that we got when we had Earl on. Good night, and like and share. Share. See you again in the future. There you go. Wise. Yeah, shame you didn't get on to talk about your stuff. But who knows, maybe I'll even open it up on Sunday. So we'll see how we go. I've got lots of stuff to talk about, as you can see. It's not all on UFO Sundays. It's a mixture of science, paranormal, ghosts, UFO stuff. So yeah, anything that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I better split the screens here, my camera view, and wind down. And I'll see you on Discord. Join my Discord. You can talk to me while I'm not on air.